Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Welcome you
Hare
all to
Krishna.
the Sunday Bhagavad Gita classes. So we are in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita is also called as Gita summarized. So the entire topic of Bhagavad Gita is presented in the second chapter in a very conclusive way. So in the beginning of the chapter, we saw that Arjuna's eyes was filled with tears because he was overwhelmed by compassion of fighting against his own friends, relatives, teachers, and grandparent. So at that situation, what did Arjuna do? He took shelter of Krishna. He accepted Krishna as his guru. So
Good.
because the talk between the friends is not considered to be very serious, so Arjuna took shelter of Krishna. Karpanya dosho pagata swabhava prichami tvam dharma sammuda cheta yashreyasya nichitam bruhi tanme shishyasya ahamshadi mam tvam prapannam. So Arjuna wanted to know what is good for him in the long term. In the current situation, Arjuna was not able to understand his long-term goals because he was overwhelmed by the compassion. Therefore, he took the shelter of Krishna to know what is good for him in the long run. So similarly, we are also having a human form of life, and we are overcome by the miserly weakness that we are not understanding the long-term goal of our life. What is the long-term goal of our life?
To go back to Godhead.
To
To go
God
back home, back to
back
Godhead,
to
and to
God.
come out of the cycle of repeated birth
Birth
and
and
death.
death.
But what is happening with us in our day-to-day life? We get carried away by the
Material world.
materialistic desires, small things that gives us a little bit of happiness. And that kind of happiness is referred as Chapala Sukha, means a drop of happiness. Like we are tormented by heat and cold, we are tormented by wind and the rain. So many ways we are tormented in the life. But in spite of all these sufferings, why are we trying to be very optimistic in this world? Because of that small happiness, the Chapala Sukha we get, we try to be happy in this material world. And whatever the wealth, the family, position, our beauty, everything in this world is temporary. Do they last forever?
No.
Everything goes away. With the time, everything goes away. But still, our problem is we are not taking shelter of Govinda. Krishna, yeah, or Govinda, who can help us to come out of the cycle of this repeated birth and death, and who can help us to become fearless. So now Krishna, in the position of the Guru, started advising Arjuna. So here also we saw throughout the first chapter, did we even see Krishna speaking even a single word?
No.
He did not speak. So Krishna started speaking only when he was solicited, when he was asked. Then Krishna starts advising. And then the very first advice what Krishna did is to say that we are not the body, we are the soul. And he also chastises Arjuna. What did he say? You are behaving like a pandita, but actually speaking, you're a fool because you're lamenting for something that is not worthy, because you are not understanding that this body is temporary and the soul is eternal.
Permanent.
So you are worrying for something which is not even worth for. And so the very first teaching of Bhagavad Gita is we are not the body, and we are the soul. And in the next sloka, Krishna is also talking about the individuality of the soul. To know that we were existing and we are existing and we will continue to exist. Therefore, Arjuna does not have to lament the existence of his grandfather and his teacher. They will continue to exist. And another analogy what Krishna gives is, what is death? Death is nothing but the change of the body. But is the change of the body happening only during the death, or it is happening during one's own lifetime?
Only one's own lifetime. The cells
In
keeps
the
changing
same
from
life, we are all in the same life. And is our body the same? When we were
no
born, we were too small. And when we were 5 years old, we were looking differently. And when we were 15 years old, we were looking differently. And when we were 25, 30, we were looking not very differently, but at least we were looking more young and more fresh. And by 40, 40 plus, we look differently. After 60, we will look different. So if that is the case, what is the need for lamentation? And here, Dronacharya and Bhishma, they are already very old. So Arjuna should be happy that they will get new bodies. And where will they get? They may go to the spiritual planet
spiritual.
because they are noble souls. Otherwise, at least they may go to the heavenly planets. They may go to the upper planets. So there is no need for lamentation for Arjuna. But what did Arjuna say? Krishna, you're not understanding that I am attached to their current bodies. For that, what did Krishna say? Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhata agama apayino anitya tamtiti shashva bharata. Like how the season changes, the summer and winter keeps changing. Sometimes we are happy and sometimes we are sad.
Sad.
But Atam Titi Shashva, what should one do? One should learn to tolerate these dualities because they keep coming and going. It is not going to be permanent. Today, if you're happy, tomorrow you may be in distress. Today, if you're in distress, tomorrow you may be happy. So these things are temporary. Yes, the loss of the loved ones will definitely make us feel sad. It's not easy to let go the loved ones. But what should one do? One should learn to tolerate because nobody is going to live forever in this world.
Life.
And then in the next sloka, Krishna is giving us the quality for liberation. So what is the quality for liberation? If one wants to get liberated from this material world, what quality should one possess? Samadukka sukha. One should take both happiness and distress in the similar manner. How can we take happiness and distress in a similar manner? Unless one learns to tolerate things, is it possible for us to look both the things, happiness and distress, in the same way? It is not possible. Therefore, Krishna first spoke about toleration and then he is talking about the eligibility for liberation is one should take both happiness and distress in a same way. And further, Krishna speaks about how one should talk about equanimity. He is talking about equanimity in the level of body. It is heat and cold. Sometimes we feel hot, sometimes we feel cold. In the level of the mind, sometimes we are happy and sometimes we are distressed. In the level of ego, sometimes we feel we are honored, sometimes we feel we are dishonored. So one should learn to take all these dualities. One should try to come out of the dualities. So unless otherwise one comes out of the duality, it is very difficult for us to get liberated from this material world. And in the next question, next sloka, Krishna is talking about the eternity of the soul and says that whether it is a personalist or impersonalist, both of them come to the same conclusion that this body is temporary, whereas the soul is eternal. And in the next sloka, Krishna is talking about the all-pervasive nature of the soul. Soul is all-pervading and it is indestructible, like the sunlight. How far is the sun? Very, very far. And how does the sun looks like?
It looks small.
Like a small ball. But imagine the amount of heat and energy it is generating. Yeah. So, as how the sunlight is sustaining the entire planet, so similarly, what is sustaining our body? The soul. And the source of consciousness is the soul. right? And nobody
Yeah.
can destroy the imperishable soul. So Krishna is trying to explain Arjuna that we are not the body and we are the soul in a different angles. He is trying to convince Arjuna, not just by one angle, but by different angle. Krishna would have just told Arjuna that we are not the body, we are the soul. But Arjuna is in a depressed situation. Therefore, he needs more explanation. And so are we. We also understand theoretically that we are not the soul, we are the body. But are we able to act accordingly?
No.
Unless otherwise, we keep hearing every day on a day-to-day basis, unless otherwise we call out the names of Krishna, unless otherwise we develop the relation with the God in the form of hearing, in the form of chanting, in the form of hearing, in the form of prayers, in the form of worshipping, in the form of offering him prasadam, it is very difficult for us to
Yes.
come to the understanding that we are not the body and we are the soul, because we are embodied in the body for millions and trillions of lifetimes. Therefore, it is very difficult for us to consider ourselves aloof from our body. Suppose a soul is put in the body of the dog. What does the dog do? The dog just barks. If the soul is put in the body of a cat, what does the cat does? The cat just meows. So similarly, wherever the soul is being put, what the soul takes? The position of
It
the
takes that form.
embodied body. So we start assuming we are that. If we are in the cat body, we think we are the cat. If we are in the dog body, we think we are the dog. If we are in a human body, we think we are the human. But these are all just the designation. But our real self is, we are not the body and we are the
the
soul.
soul.
And in the sloka number 18, Krishna is further giving the qualities of the soul, that the soul is indestructible and immeasurable. What is the size of the soul?
100
1 by
100,000
10,000th time of the tip of the hair.
of the hair.
So is it even being seen? Soul is not even being seen. It is too small. And so therefore, one cannot destroy the soul. Suppose you want to attack an enemy. First of all, you should know where the enemy is. If you don't even know where the enemy is, if you cannot even see the enemy, is it possible to attack?
Not
During
possible.
the
We should
war,
know.
what do the people do? What do the soldiers do? They try to hide
Understand.
themselves. Why do they try to hide themselves? Because if they are seen, they will be shot to death. So similarly, when the soul can't even be seen, where is the question about the death of the soul? There's no question about the death. And next sloka, Krishna is saying that the body is the one which is being killed, whereas the soul is something which cannot be killed. Does that mean that we can kill anybody? Because Krishna is actually saying that even when we kill somebody, it is just the body, but not the soul. So here Krishna is trying to convince Arjuna, because Arjuna is in the bodily platform. Dehatma Buddhi, because he is worried about the loss of his own teachers, grandfather, and his friends and his relatives. Therefore, Arjuna is lamenting. So Krishna, because Arjuna is a warrior, he is a Kshatriya. So what is the duty of a Kshatriya? To establish the dharma, and he has to fight. So here, Arjuna killing the opponent for the dharma yuddha is not considered to be sinful, because he is doing that to establish the dharma. But therefore, this sloka should not be misunderstood, thinking that, you're not the soul, you're the body, so that you can murder anyone. The same soldier, if he is killing the enemy in the war field, he is given Paramveer Chakra. And the same soldier, if he kills his neighbor for no reason, just because he has an enmity against him, what will happen to him? He will be put behind the bars. So authorized killing is allowed, but unauthorized killing is not allowed, like the butchers what do? They say, okay, I did not actually kill. I'm just killing the animal, but the soul I could not kill. So does that mean that a butcher can kill n number of animals? That is not allowed because he has to take the consequence of such killing. That's why it's called mamsa. That means you are telling that I am killing you today, therefore I allow you to kill me in some other lifetime. That's why in the Sanskrit this word is called as, the meat is called
Mamsam.
as mamsa. We are telling, okay, I am killing you today, tomorrow you will kill me. So we are giving that permission whenever we are killing an animal. Therefore, animal killing is also not allowed because they are also the souls. So we'll go to today's sloka. Is also a very beautiful sloka where Krishna is kind of summarizing the qualities of soul, whatever he has spoken from sloka number 11 to 19. And please recite after me. Na jayate mriyate va kadachin.
Na jayate mriyate va kadachim.
Nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuyah.
Nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuya.
Ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano.
Ajo nitya shashvatoyam
Purana
purana.
Na hanyate hanyamane sharire.
Na
na
hanyayate hanyamane sarire.
Na jayate mriyate va kadachin.
Na
Namaste
jayate mriyate va
Devakadachin
kadachim.
Nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuyah.
Nayam
Nambutva
bhutva bhavita
Bhavita
va na
Vanabhuya
Ajo
bhuya.
nitya shashvatoyam purano.
Ajo nitya
Ajaya
shashvatoyam puro
Na
nayo.
hanyate hanyamane sharire.
Na
Namaste
hanyayate hanyamane
Hanyamane
sharire.
Na jayate mriyate va kadachin.
Na
Na jayate
Jayate
mriyate va kadacha.
Devakadachin
Chin.
Nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuyah.
Nayam
Nayam
bhutva
Bhutva
bhavita
Bhavita
va na bhuya.
Ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano.
Ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano.
Na hanyate hanyamane sharire.
Na hanyate
Nahanyate hanyamane
hanyayamane
sharire.
sharire.
Who would like to do this sloka?
Mataji, I'll
Mataji,
do.
I can try.
Okay, please.
Who's it?
Anybody, please go ahead.
Na jayate mriyate va kadacha kadachin.
Na jayate mriyate va kadachin.
Nayam bhutva bhavitva va na bhuya.
Nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuyah.
Ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano.
Ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano.
Na hanyate hanyamane sharire.
Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Word to word translation and the meaning,
Na,
please.
never. Jayate, jayate takes birth. Mriyate dies. Va either. Kadachit at any time, that is past, present or future. Na never. I am this. Bhutva having come into being. Bhavita will come to be. Va or na not. Bhuya or is again coming to be. Aya unborn. Nitya eternal. Shashvate permanent. I am this. Purana the oldest. Na never. Hanyate is killed. Hanyamane Hanyamane being killed. Sharire the body. For the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swamiti Namini. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Desatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay. So here Krishna is saying that for the soul, there is neither birth nor death. So soul is unborn. So if something dies, that means it should be also born. Can there be a death without the birth?
No.
So because the soul is eternal, it can never be killed. So that means the soul is always existing. There's no birth for the soul. So we celebrate birthday, and this birthday is only for our body. This is not for our soul. And Krishna is also called as Ajo. Aja means he is unborn. So we being the part and parcel of Krishna, we are also unborn. If the whole is unborn, what about the part and parcel? If the ocean water is salty, what about the drop of water in the ocean? Will it be sweet?
It will also be salt.
It will be also salt. So we being a part and parcel of Krishna, if Krishna is unborn, what about us? We are also unborn. But what is the difference between Krishna and us? Krishna is
Eternal.
Achyuta.
Yeah.
He can
Achyuta.
never fall. But we, being the minute living beings, we have a tendency to fall down. Where are we supposed to be? We are all supposed to be with Krishna in the spiritual planet, in Vaikuntha or Goloka. But where are we?
Bhuloka.
We are here. Why we are in the material world? Because we wanted to be the enjoyers. We wanted to take the position of Krishna. We did not want to be the servants of Krishna. Whereas we thought that, like sometimes the servant develops the attitude of a master. If a servant is working for a long time in somebody's home, and if the servant is given all kind of perks and all kind of respects, so it may so happen that the servant may think that the servant is the master of the home.
Yeah,
it happens,
possible.
right?
Yeah.
So when that servant starts behaving as though he or she is the master of the home, then what will the owner do the moment he comes to know about the attitude of the servant?
He sacks him.
Yeah, he will be thrown out of the job. So the same thing has happened to us. We all wanted to be the masters. We all wanted to take the position of the Krishna. For example, in a cloudy day, we are not able to see the sun. So does that mean that the cloud can cover the entire sunlight? The clouds
No, the sun.
can cover a part of the sun. Can the cloud cover the entire sun?
No.
It is not possible. So similarly, Maya can only influence the tiny beings like us. So do you think that Maya can also influence Krishna?
No.
Maya cannot influence Krishna. Maya can only influence us. So we are taking repeated birth and death because we are in the Maya. Because every day and every, what are we making? We are making unlimited plans. So we have so many plans and so many desires. So during the death, what happens? What is death? Your
The end
time
of the
period in a
present
particular body is finished, right? That is the death. But where are these desires stored? Remember, in the previous classes, we spoke about 3 types of body. What are the 3 types of body? Gross body, subtle body, and the soul itself. So these are the 3 bodies. Here, soul is not actually a body, but just for a Just for our understanding, I meant 3 types of body, but our real self is the soul. So where are these desires stored?
The soul only.
Not soul, Mataji, the subtle body. What is the
Subtle
subtle
body.
body made up
Subtle.
of?
Subtle.
Intelligence,
Yeah.
mind,
Intelligence,
and
mind,
false ego.
false ego.
So all the desires
Subtle.
get stored in our mind.
Subtle body. Yeah.
So this mind is a part of the subtle body. So as long as we carry the subtle body, then based on our desires and based on our karma, we will be put in another body.
Material world. Yeah.
And another life will start where all our unfinished desires will continue. That's what Krishna says in Bhagavadgita 4th chapter. Ye yatamam prapadyante tam sataiva bhajamyaham. As you desire, I reciprocate. So whatever we are desiring, what does Krishna does? He just reciprocates to our desire. So sometimes people ask, why can't Krishna just make all of us devotees? Why does Krishna has to put us in Maya? So what will be your answer for that?
We will
Pardon?
Based on our karma.
Why is that? We
because
see
we still
Krishna.
have those
Is it
desires.
difficult for Krishna to make us all to be devotees? Is it hard for him?
No.
No,
But why still Krishna is not doing that?
because of our strong desires to enjoy.
Yeah, because Krishna is supremely independent. And we being the part and parcel, we are also minutely independent. So Krishna does not interfere with our free will, with our minute independence. Because if Krishna interferes with the minute independence, then we will not be a jiva, we will be a stone. What is the difference between a stone and jiva? We have an ability to think, right? A stone does not have any such ability. So therefore, because we have this minute independence, Krishna does not interfere with our minute independence. However, he is helping us through Guru, Sadhu and Shastras. He has given us these Bhagavad Gita. He has given us Srimad Bhagavatam. He has given us Upanishad. He has given us Vedas. Why did he give all of these to us? So that we understand the goal of the life and then we go back to him. And he has also sent us Guru, the representative of Krishna, who can enlighten us, who can take us out of the ignorance. And he has also sent saintly people, sadhus. So when you are associated with the saintly people, what happens to us? Are we not benefited by their qualities?
Yes.
Suppose you are meeting a saintly person and you see the person to be very pure and very humble and very nice. So when you are in association with such person, when you come back home, are you not trying to think, okay, how this person is so much purified? I should also try to do something so that I also want to get purified. I also wanted to enjoy the eternal bliss, right? For example, for a materialistic people, they are very fearful. Why are they fearful? They are fearful because of mainly what is something that gives us a lot of fear in this world? The most fearful thing is
the enjoyment will go for them.
yeah,
Material.
that is there. And most of them are scared of death.
Yeah.
Because by death, what will happen? All their attachment with the family will just
Goes.
come to an end. Because throughout their life, a materialist is only thinking about him and his family, and maybe the extended family is the community. The extended community is about the country. But these are all extended sense gratification, right? Because you are identifying yourself with your body. These are all the designation. As long as you live with the designation, then you are bound to get another body. That's why it is said, Sarvapadi Vinirbhuktam Tat Paratvena Nirmalam Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchate. When we are serving Rishikesha, the master of the senses, two things happens. What is that? Sarva Upadhi Vinirbhuktam. One comes out of all kind of designation. Otherwise, if we think I am a lawyer, I am a doctor, I am a female, I am an Indian, I am this, I am that, then we are still carrying a bodily concept of life, because of which the next birth is for sure. And the other kind of transcendentalist who knows that we are not the body and we are the soul, are they fearful?
No,
If
they
you
are
know
not.
that there is no death for your real self, will you be fearful?
No, no.
No, that is fearlessness. And then there is a third type of people who are the devotees of the Lord. They are beyond the fearfulness and they are in bliss because they are in constant touch with Krishna in
Krishna.
the form of his holy names, in form of his in glorifying him. So when you're constantly in touch with Krishna, when Krishna is Satchit Ananda, so Krishna is having eternity, bliss and knowledge, we will also develop that quality. Therefore, a devotee is placed on a higher plane than even a spiritualist. A spiritualist, or two types of spiritualists we discussed. What are the two types of spiritualists? Personalist and impersonalist. What does the impersonalist think? Upon leaving the body, he will become one with the God. He
God.
thinks he merges himself with the God. He merges with the Brahma Jyoti. But that Brahma Jyoti position is also not very permanent because there is no varieties. Suppose you may be happy, suppose you are getting peace for 1 or 2 days. Let's say that in your home there are 20 people who are living, you're living in a joint family, and always your home is in chaos. And it so happened that once everybody leaves and you're just left alone in the home, for a day or two, you may be happy. You'll feel happy about the peace that you're getting.
Yeah.
But what will happen over a period of time? Will the happiness persist?
No, loneliness
You
will.
will start feeling bored because there's no varieties, right? So similarly, we may be happy going to Brahma Jyoti, but because there is no varieties and everything, so you again come back to this material world. And those people, they become philanthropists. You see, some of the people, they are philanthropists. They like to open hospitals. They like to feed the poor. They like to do a lot of good causes for the society. But all these things are for the body. Is it for the soul? What is the best welfare activity one can give to the society? Is giving them
Krishna consciousness.
Krishna consciousness, because by doing so, what will happen is one goes back home, back to Godhead.
God.
So one has to understand that for the soul, there is neither birth nor death. Na jayate mriyate va kadachin. Nayam bhutva bhavitan va na bhuyaha. There was no past, there is no present, and there is no future. And ajo means unborn. We also saw in the later slokas, Krishna will be called as Ajopi son Avyayatma. Krishna says that he is unborn. Nitya means eternal. Sashwat means permanent. That means ever exists. Purana means primeval, very old. So we cannot even date. Suppose if you want to know who was the first Prime Minister of India and in which year he got solicited, we can know the date. If we want to know when was India invaded by Mughals, you can go back and you can get some date. But if you are trying to know when did you come into the existence, we the soul, we cannot. Because the soul is primeval. It was always existing. Like Krishna is always existing, we are also always existing because we are part and parcel of Krishna. Even now, 90% of the jivas are in the spiritual world. And spiritual world is also 3 times of the entire creation. And the material world is only one part of the entire creation. So because those jivas like us who have messed up our life, who have came out of Krishna, Krishna bulya jiva vancha boge. The entire problem is because we are forgetfulness of Krishna. We are forgetful of our real position, because of which we are in the repeated cycle of birth and death. It's like a prison house. There is a prison house in every country. But who are the people who are put in the prison house?
People who
Criminals.
have done crime.
Crime. Only the criminals are put in the prison house, right?
Yeah.
So just because there is a prison house doesn't mean that each and everybody will go there.
No.
So similarly, just because Krishna has created a material world, that doesn't mean that you have to come here and you have to enjoy. This is
Yeah.
the world for the criminals, because we are all bound by our 3 gunas: Sattva guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna.
Tamoguna.
Every activity that we are doing is because we are influenced by our modes of nature. Sometimes we are in the mode of goodness, we may do something good to others. In the mode of passion, what do? We develop unlimited desires. And we go for they say, na, go for a kill, just do that. And in the Tamoguna, what do? We just don't want to do anything at all, right? Half the world, what do they do on Sundays?
Tamoguna.
Tamoguna. If somebody sees you, you're awake at 5 o'clock on Sunday morning, that means you're considered to be something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not in a mentally fit situation, that you're not able to get enough sleep. Therefore, you're awake at such a early hours, right?
Yeah.
Mostly the materialist people, karmis, what time they do? They wake up around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, or 11 o'clock. Or some people just wake up and they won't even cook. What do? They just go out and have,
Swiggy.com.
yeah, or Swiggy is also there. In the rainy season, you don't have to take the,
Yeah.
pain of going out of the home, right?
Yeah.
Just browse through your phone and order something and turn on your television and just eat.
Eat.
Yes, but this happiness, we see that all these kind of eating a lot of junk food and outside food. Today we see the hospitals are cropped up like mushrooms. In every place, there are several hospitals. Why? Because people are all falling sick.
Sick.
Because why do we fall sick? Because of our uncontrolled eating, right? Whatever we put in. So this is what is happening to us. So we are controlled by the modes of nature, and whatever we are doing is because of the modes of the nature, but we think that we are the doers. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasya ahankara vimudatma kartaham iti manyate. Out of ahankar, out of false ego, we think that we are the doers. In actual, everything is done by the prakriti, by our modes of nature. However, by practicing devotional service, one can come out of the modes of nature and be situated in the Shuddha Sattva, in the mode of pure goodness, where every activity that a devotee does is only towards the satisfaction of the Lord.
Krishna.
Okay, so let us go in detail with the purport. Who would like to read?
I'll read, Mataji.
Please.
Qualitative oneness of the soul. Qualitatively, the small atomic fragment part of the Supreme Spirit is one with the Supreme. He undergoes no changes like the body. Sometimes the soul is called the steady or
Kutastha.
Kutastha.
So this change is only for the body. The change is not for the soul. Why? Because we are all the part and parcel of Krishna. Like a drop of water in the ocean, and the ocean, qualitatively it is the same, but quantitatively there is a vast difference. Krishna is Vibhu and we are Anu. body goes through 6 transformation. Please continue, Mataji.
The body is subject to 6 kinds of transformation. It takes its birth from the womb of the mother's body, remains for some time, grows, produces some effects, gradually dwindle, and at last vanishes into oblivion.
So what are the 6 changes our body is undergoing? First, the body takes birth. After birth, the body remains for some time, and then the body grows and then reproduce, right? We all reproduce some children, but this reproduction is only the body. The soul doesn't have any offshoots. Every soul is an individual soul, but whatever we think, our own children, they are also an individual soul. This is just the offshoot of our body, but not the soul. Gradually dwindles after 40 years. What happens to our body? Gradually, our energy
Dwindles.
is going down
Going down.
and at last vanishes, the death. So this 6 transformation happens for the body or for
Body.
the soul. This is
Body.
only for the body, whereas the soul does not undergo any change.
Changes.
Yeah. But however, because our mindset changes, a 5-year-old child behaves differently from a 40-year-old person, right? Why that is changing? Because with the time, what happens? Our mindset changes, but the soul is always the same. The soul does not undergo any such changes. Yeah. Continue, Mataji.
Soul doesn't go through any transformation.
It is the soul. Sorry, there is a
The
typing error.
soul, however, the soul, however, does not go through such changes. The soul is not born, but because he takes on a material body, the body takes its birth. The soul does not take birth there, and the soul does not die. Anything which has birth also has death.
Yeah. So if there is a death, means there should be a birth also, right? So since there is no death for the soul, that means that there is neither the birth for the
Birth.
soul. Soul is always existing. Whether you may exist in the material world or you may exist in the spiritual world, but your existence is always there. Now the choice is ours. What do I do? Should I continue to work the same way that I have been doing? Do I make the choices in my life to do the same things that I have been doing and continue to take various bodies? Or should I choose myself to become a devotee of Krishna and serve Krishna and his devotees and go back home, back to Godhead? Because
Godhead.
your existence is there. But the choice is where to live, whether to live in the spiritual world or whether you live in the material world. The difference is when you are living in the spiritual world, this 6 transformation do we undergo? Does this 6 transformation happen in the spiritual world?
No.
Yes, Mataji. Happens, no? No?
No, it doesn't happen, Mataji. In the spiritual world, there is nothing called death. You know
Okay.
what is the eternal age of Krishna? Is only 16. And the age
Okay.
of Radharani is only 14.
Okay.
So they don't go beyond that. And Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, they all remain in their own position of serving the Lord. Suppose somebody is in the Vatsalya Bhav, they take the position of the parent of Krishna and the elderly gopis. Somebody is in the Madhurya Bhav, they take the position of the girlfriend of Krishna. Somebody is in the Sakya Bhav, they take the position of the boyfriends of Krishna, the Sakya Bhav. Somebody is in the attitude of the mood of the servant, they take the Dasya Bhav. And somebody is in the neutral mode, they becomes like the grass, like the tree, like the cows and everything of Vrindavan, because they are just serving the Krishna in the neutral position. So everybody can serve the Lord according to our rasas. Okay, Mataji. But
Okay.
there you do not undergo any such transformation. So because in the spiritual world, our body is our own spirit soul. It may be very, very small, as we saw that 1/10,000th time of the tip of the hair. But our soul has the Swarupa. Like, for example, if you go to a tailor, what does a tailor does? According to your body, he measures, he take measurements and he stitches you a shirt or a kurta. Correct?
Correct.
But you have a body, right? That is why he could take a measurement. So similarly, because the soul is also having a swarupa, therefore the soul is able to take a material body according to the desires. But the soul also has its own swarupa. Each and every one of us have our own swarupa, the real identity, as an eternal servants of Krishna, serving Krishna in one of these bhavas. But because we are forgetfulness of our Krishna, because of our forgetfulness of our real position, we have taken birth in this material world and trying to enjoy this material world with unlimited desires. And during this process of fulfilling our desires, we do many activities, and those activities becomes our karma. So sometimes we do good karma, sometimes we do bad karma, and because of this karma and desires, we keep taking repeated birth and death.
Death.
Okay. Characteristics of the soul. Please continue, Mataji.
Characteristics of a soul. And because the soul has no birth, he therefore has no past, present, or future. He is eternal, ever existing, and primeval. That is, there is no trace in history of his coming into being. Under the impression of the body, we seek the history of birth, etc., of the soul. The soul does not at any time become old, as the body does.
This is self-explanatory. The body becomes old, whereas the soul does not become old. Neither the soul has birth, neither the soul has death. Even if you're trying to search the entire history, you will not find the trace of when the soul came into the being, because the soul is ever existing as Krishna is also ever existing. Okay. Practical proof that the soul is eternal. Continue, Mataji.
Practical proof that soul is eternal. The so-called, no,
And because
and because the soul has no birth, he therefore has no past, present, or future. He is eternal, ever existing, and perennial. That is, there is no trace in history of his coming into being. Under the impression of the body, we seek the history of birth, etc. of the soul. The soul does not at any point become old as the body does.
because
The
we are
same
all in
point
the
what we
Dehatma
did.
Buddhi, we are in the bodily concept of life. We also try to see when did we come to the being. That is only because of what? Because of our bodily concept of life. We are trying to see. Somebody also asked, if God created everyone, who created God? So is this a question? That's how people ask, right? So Krishna is citing from Shastras. Please continue.
Krishna citing from Shastra in the Upanishad 1.2, 1.2.18, also find a similar passage which reads, Na jayate mriyate va vipachin
Nayam kutastin
nayam
bhavita
vipashti na
kaschit ajo
bhavira
nitya
kaschit
shashvatoyam purano na
na
hanyate hanya
harate
mane sharire.
The meaning and purport of this verse is the same as in the Bhagavad Gita, but here in this verse there is one special word, vipashit, means learned or with knowledge.
So a learned person is the one who knows. A person with the knowledge can understand the characteristic of the soul. That means the soul is unborn and the soul is primeval and the soul is eternal and the soul is ever existing. Who can understand this? Only a learned person. A person in ignorance, will he be able to understand these qualities of the soul? No. Unless
Hmm.
otherwise you have a knowledge, how will you understand that you're not the body and you're the soul? Right? So therefore, a learned person is the one who understands the qualities of the soul. Continue, Mataji.
Soul is Satchin, Satchit with Ananda. The soul is full of knowledge or full always with consciousness. Therefore, consciousness is a symptom of the soul. If even if one does not find the soul within the heart where he is situated, one can still understand the presence of the soul simply by the presence of consciousness.
So what is the
Somebody,
yeah? What is the consciousness means what? Is a symptom of the soul, right? So if a person is dead, why do we say that the person is gone? What is gone out of him?
the soul.
The conscious,
The,
no, the
yeah,
consciousness.
yeah, the consciousness is gone of the soul. It's not that because he stopped breathing, his soul went away. No, because his soul went away, he stopped breathing.
Breathing.
Okay. Some people say, saas chal gaya. It's not just because we stop breathing, the soul
Yeah.
left. No, the soul leaves. Because the soul leaves, then all the other consciousness goes away. So the
Goes away.
very
Okay.
consciousness is a symptom of the soul. So as we know that the soul is invisible, or we cannot find out the soul. So just because we cannot see the soul, can we say that the soul does not exist?
No.
The soul does exist. How do we understand? By the symptom of consciousness. We understand
Consciousness.
that the soul is existing. If we are conscious means the soul is existing. Only
Existing.
by that we can understand that the soul is there. Yeah, please continue, Mataji.
Analogy for understanding the presence of the soul. Sometimes we do not find the sun in the sky owing to clouds or for some other reason, but the light of the sun is always there, and we are convinced that it is there for daytime. As soon as there is a little light in the sky early in the morning, we can understand that the sun is in the sky. Similarly, since there is some consciousness in all bodies, whether man or animal, we can understand the presence of the soul. This
So we know that.
consciousness,
Mataji, we'll just stop here and then we'll
yeah,
go.
sorry.
So we know that the consciousness is a symptom of the sometimes on a cloudy day, we are not able to see the sun. But still, how do we come to a conclusion that it is a daytime?
By the light.
By the light of the sun. So can we say that it is not the day because I don't see the sun? We cannot say that. So similarly, although we cannot see the soul, the symptom of the soul is seen through the consciousness. Okay. And what are the different levels of consciousness?
This consciousness of the soul
Yeah.
is not different.
Levels
Mataji,
of
please.
consciousness. Someone else wants to read?
Uma
Okay.
Mataji, would you like to
Yes.
read?
Yes, Mataji. Different levels of consciousness. This consciousness of the soul is, however, different from the consciousness of the Supreme, because the Supreme consciousness is all knowledge, past, present, and the future. The consciousness of the individual soul is prone to be forgetful. When he is forgetful of his real nature, he obtains education and enlightenment from the superior lessons of Krishna. But Krishna is not like the forgetful soul. If so, Krishna's teachings of the Bhagavad Gita would be useless.
So what is the difference between Krishna and us? We are qualitatively one, but Krishna is, his entire body is spiritual. Krishna's body is not material at all. His entire body is spiritual. In the Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma says, Krishna's senses is not like our senses. Krishna can see through the ears. Krishna can eat through the eyes. Is any of his senses can perform the function of any other senses. So Krishna is not like us. And Vedaham Samititani Vartamani Charjuna. In the 7th chapter, Krishna says that I know the past, I know the present, and I know the future. But for the individuals like us, what is the problem? We are all prone to become forgetful. Like the spark of the fire. As soon as it comes out of the whole fire, what happens to the spark? The spark gets extinguished, right?
Yes.
When the spark comes out of the fire. So similarly, We are minute living beings, and the moment we come out of our old, we become forgetfulness of Krishna. In 15th chapter, Krishna says, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto mattas pratirnyanam apohanam cha. He says that I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So this is also coming from Krishna only. Like, for example, we have taken millions and trillions of lifetimes. Imagine if we remember each and every lifetime that we lived, what will happen to us? Will we be even able to be little bit peaceful?
No.
So therefore, what does Krishna does? He put us into forgetfulness of our past life also. And only thing he keeps us continuing is what continues? The
The present
desires. The desires and the karma continues, but you are forgetful of your past life.
Past.
And as an individual, Krishna Buliya Bhogavancha Jiva. So we are the Bhogavancha. We wanted to be the enjoyers by forgetting the Krishna. When there is a sunlight, is there a question of darkness?
No.
So similarly, when there is a Krishna, there is no question of Maya. Maya comes when we are forgetfulness of Krishna gives us Maya. Daivihesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Durateya. Krishna says, Maya is also my energy. Therefore, Mama Maya Durateya. It is very difficult to overcome Maya. But in the next line, Krishna says, Mame eva prapadhyante, Maya metam tarantite. But one who is surrendered to me, Mame eva prapadhyante, the one who is completely surrendered to Krishna, Maya metam tarantite, he can easily cross the Maya, come out of Maya. So if we want to come out of Maya, what qualification we should develop? We should always remember Krishna. We should never forget Krishna. So that is a qualification, because when there is a sun, there is no darkness. Similarly, when there is Krishna in our life all the time, there cannot be Maya. So we should always try to remember Krishna by following the 9 process of devotional service. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. By hearing about Krishna, and by chanting about Krishna, and by remembering Krishna, and by serving his lotus feet, and by doing archana, by doing puja, by doing vandana, by becoming friends of Krishna, and by becoming his servant, and completely surrendering to Krishna, by following one of these 9 processes also perfectly, one can go back home, back to Godhead. So therefore, one should try to follow this 9 process of devotional service, at least 1 or 2 of this process. So that will perfect us to go back home, back to Godhead, and help us to always remember Krishna. So if so, the Krishna's teaching of Bhagavad Gita would be useless. So kinds of the soul. Mataji, please continue, Mataji.
Kinds of the soul. There are 2 kinds of souls, namely the minute particle soul, that is Anu Atma, and the super soul, that is Vibhu Atma. This is also confirmed in the Katha Upanishad in this way.
I will read the verse, Mataji. Anoraniyam Magato Mahiyan Atmasya Janto Nihito Guhayam Tam Akruru Pashyanti Vitashoka Dhatu Prasadan Mahimanam Atmana.
Both the super soul, that is Paramatma, and the atomic soul, that is Jivatma, are situated on the same tree of the body within the same heart of the living being, and only one who has become free from all the material desires as well as the lamentations can, by the grace of the Supreme, understand the glories of the soul.
So there is not just one soul. What are the 2 kinds of soul? One is
Paramatma,
Atma and another is Paramatma.
Paramatma.
Atma, we the living entity, we are trying to enjoy the fruit of our activities. We wanted to enjoy. What does the Paramatma is doing? The Paramatma is just overseeing us. The Paramatma is not enjoying the fruits of the result. Paramatma is just like a witnessee, like 2 birds sitting in the same tree. One is enjoying the fruit and other is just witnessing. Like that, in our heart, we have Atma and Paramatma. Atma is enjoying the fruit of the activities, whereas Paramatma is the overseer. And who can understand the glories of the soul? We just saw that. We cannot understand the soul unless otherwise we are free from material desires and lamentation. So many times we are lamenting in the world, right? I shouldn't have done this. I should have done like this. Had I done like this, it would have been like this. Had I done like that, it would have been like that. Are we not lamenting things in our life?
Yes.
Had I got this property 10 years back, today this property had become double. But today, instead of that, I bought this property and this is stagnant. Just an example. Had I studied this, I would have gone here, but I chose to study this, so I'm here. Had I chosen this job, I would have been there. I chose this job, therefore I'm here. Like that, so many lamentations we carry in our life. Therefore, one should be free from material desires and lamentation. And Krishna is the source of super soul. Please continue, Mataji.
Krishna is the source of super soul. Is the source of super soul. Krishna is the fountainhead of the super soul also, as it will be disclosed in the following chapters. And Arjuna is the atomic soul, forgetful of his real nature. Therefore, he requires to be enlightened by Krishna or by his bona fide representative, the spiritual master.
So, in the forgetful state, what we should do? We should try to inquire from the spiritual master, inquire from Guru, and we should also inquire from the Shastras. So, only when we are inquiring from Shastras and Guru, then we will be able to understand our real nature. The entire suffering of repeated birth and death is due to forgetfulness of our real nature. We are forgetful that we are all the eternal servants of Krishna. Jivera Swarupa Hoy, Krishnera Nityadas. Because we are forgetful of our real position. Therefore, we are suffering. Suppose a boy is an orphan and somebody found that boy, and if he is giving him one day food and some cloth, he can be okay for one day. But if the same boy, if he is given his father, then will there be any more problem to that boy? If he is handed over to his real father, what will happen to this boy? Not just his one day problem, his entire life's problem will be solved, right?
Yeah.
So similarly, if we are understanding our Supreme Father is Krishna and he is there to take care of us under all situations, then there's nothing to lament, right? Because we are trying to take responsibility of our life on our own. We are trying to take charge of the life on our own. Therefore, we are prone to suffering. Okay. So we should try to understand our real nature. So the entire problem of the world is not economic problem, not climatic change and everything. The entire problem is forgetfulness of Krishna. That is the entire problem of the world. Because if we remember Krishna, then there won't be any more birth, death, old age, and disease. Ante Narayana Smriti, right? So we'll just have a small discussion on the purport. So we discussed in this purport that soul is permanent and body is temporary. And body undergoes six changes. What are the 6 changes the body undergoes? Birth.
The worm of the mother's body.
Yeah.
Then there remains for some time and grows, produces some effects, gradually dwindles, and at last vanishes.
So these are the 6 changes of the body. But what about the soul? The soul is steady, kutastha. There is no such change for the soul. And we also saw that consciousness is the symptom of the soul. We may not see the soul, but how can we understand the presence of the soul? Through consciousness. The example is like the sun that is covered by the cloud. We cannot say that there is no sun. By the presence of sunlight, we can understand that there is sun, although we may not be able to see the sun. And we saw similar verse found in Katha Upanishad. Only one word was different. What is that word? Vipachin. Vipachin means it is learned person.
Knowledge.
A learned person is the one who can understand the characteristic of the soul. And what are the 2 types of the soul? 2 kinds of the soul is Atma and Paramatma.
Paramatma.
Atma is we, the individual Jiva. Paramatma is Krishna himself in the form of Paramatma. He is residing in each and every living entity. And what is the qualification to understand the glories of the soul? How can we understand?
Remember Krishna.
Yeah, we saw two words particularly, Mataji, remember? One is we have to be free from material desires and lamentation.
Lamentation. Yeah,
So these are the things to understand. The qualities of the soul is understand. See, who become free from all material desires as well as lamentation. So only then by the grace of the Supreme, yes, in spite of that, we should, without the mercy of Krishna and without the mercy of Guru, we will not be able to understand the glories of the soul. Okay. So I hope this sloka was good enough to comprehend.
Yes, Mataji. Very good.
Okay, I hope you. So what are the characteristics of the soul we have seen so far? What you can do is you can all make some small notes. It may not be a big notes, even from each sloka, particular characteristics, what Krishna says. We can make a note of it and we can reflect on it during the day. How can we remember Krishna? Try to recollect today whatever you heard, whatever classes you're hearing, whatever you're reading. Try to assimilate the knowledge. Because unless otherwise we assimilate the knowledge, then we will not be able to realize it, right? It has to go within, because theoretically it is very easy to understand that we are not the soul. But practically, is it so easy to understand that?
No.
It is not so very easy to understand that we are not the soul and we are the body. Okay, so continue your chanting, continue your hearing, and please offer Bhoga
Prasad
to Krishna. So by doing such a simple activities, one can go back home, back to Godhead. It's not very difficult. The difficulty is because we still have a lot of material desires and we are trying to be the enjoyers of this material world. That is the only impediment, because Krishna did not tell us not to eat. Krishna told us to eat, but what are we supposed to eat?
The prasadam.
Prasadam, that's all. Krishna did not tell you not to sleep. Krishna did not say you, don't have children or don't get into the family life. Krishna gave us all the facilities, but only thing we should do is we should always remember Krishna under all conditions. By remembering Krishna all the time, we can go back to Krishna. And that remembrance only comes when our Shravan and Kirtan is good. Without Shravana, without Kirtana, remembrance cannot come. Because whatever you hear the most is what you think. Whatever
Mataji,
you do
one
the
question,
most,
Mataji.
yes.
Mataji, the soul it can remember, it doesn't forget. The desires you're talking about.
Mataji, the desires are all stored in the subtle body.
So, okay, now, okay,
the soul is pure. The soul is Satchit Ananda. The soul
but how
is
does it
pure.
pick up the another material body without the memory? See, suppose if I have Icha of becoming a great actress, for example. Okay. Yeah. So that is when I die also I have that Icha in my mind. Okay.
Correct.
Because that is now my soul also remembers that, right? That memory, it is there. How does in the next janma that memory of what Icha I have this again I get into the another material world?
Yeah, because the soul is covered by the subtle body. The subtle body is the one which stores all the desires. So as long as we are wearing the subtle body, then we will keep getting different bodies. So to know the real nature of the soul, to understand the real nature of the soul is what? Soul is the eternal servant of Krishna. That's all. The soul has no other thing. But because of the covering, because of the contamination in the form of the subtle body, therefore we are getting different bodies. The connection between the gross body and the subtle body is the prana, the different types of airs. That is the one which connects us, right? When the prana goes, then the gross body is left here and the subtle body is the one which takes us to another body. So it's basically the subtle body which is storing the desires. Okay, Mataji. Like you have let's say that you have a shirt and you have one more covering and you have a coat. So the coat is our gross body, which goes away when the body dies. The body is cremated or the body is burnt or the body is thrown to the vulture. So either way, the body is being annihilated. But the inner covering, the inner shirt, that is the one which is taking us to another body. The subtle body, the intelligence, mind, and false ego. Therefore, we need to purify our subtle body with our mind should be purified. Our intelligence should have the real intelligence, and our ego should be the real ego, not the false ego. False ego is I am the doer, I am the enjoyer. This world is there for me to enjoy the world. But the real ego is I am the eternal servant of Krishna.
Krishna.
But the so-called enjoyment also, everybody is being a servant of other. Nobody is actually, we think we are the masters, but no, even a man who works the entire day, he becomes a servant of his wife and the child. He may think he is a master who is maintaining the family, but he is actually serving his wife and the child, right? A prime minister, he may be the prime minister of the country, but he is a servant of the citizens. So either we serve Krishna or we serve Maya, but serving nature will always be there. So that's what we have to choose, whether to serve Krishna or whether to serve Maya. Serving is the constitutional position of the soul. Therefore, each and every person is serving something or the other. But whom to serve is a choice taken by us. That independence is given by Krishna to us, and it is coming to us through Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Therefore, we need to read the Shastras like Bhagavadgita, Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, we have to take the association of the saintly people. Therefore, we have to take the association of the Guru. So these are the three things that one should do so that one can get enlightened and go back home, back to Godhead. Like even in the material world, if you want to do something, you need a mentor or you need a coach.
Yeah.
Without that, will it be possible? If Usain Bolt is the fastest runner, he must be also having a mentor who is training him, right? So similarly, if somebody is a PhD, he must be having a guide who is helping him to do his PhD.
Yes.
Like that. So everything you need a guide. But how a spiritual life alone one can understand without a guru?
Correct.
How is it possible to understand without a guru? Therefore, guru is very important in one's life. What is it? Brahmanda Brahmite Kone Bhagyavan Jive. Guru Krishna Prasade Bhakti Lata Bija. Brahmanda Brahmite. We have been wandering into many planets and universes. Kone Bhagyavan Jive. Who is the most fortunate person? Guru Krishna Prasade. One who gets the mercy of Guru and Krishna.
Guru,
What mercy
Krishna.
he gets? Bhakti Lata Bija. The creeper of Bhakti.
Bhakti.
He is the most fortunate person, is the one who takes the mercy of Guru and Krishna. Therefore, Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Without the medium of Guru, it is not possible for us to approach Krishna. Correct? So if a manager is saying something good about one of the employee, that this person performed very good, the proprietor of the company, will he even cross-check? If he has a trust in the manager, he will just promote the employee whomsoever the manager said. Will he go and check, okay, is he correct? Is he really did? No. So if a guru recommends us to Krishna, Krishna will not even double check. Krishna will give an entry to us. Because Krishna trusts the guru, because he is his representative, right? And with guru, we can know, okay, if we have a guru, we know if the guru is pleased with us. We do not know if Krishna is pleased with us, but we can know if guru is pleased with us. Yasya prasada bhagavat prasado. So when you are pleasing the guru, then Krishna is immediately pleased. So the way to please Krishna is pleasing the guru. By pleasing the guru, we are pleasing the God. So guru is a medium where, because we are embodied soul, we need to know what we are doing, whether it is correct or not, right?
Yeah.
Without that, how do we know? We do not know. We may read, but how much you understand by reading, we do not know. Sometimes the question arises. So therefore, you need a guru to clarify your questions, to ask questions submissively. Okay. We'll do the
जी
Narsimha
माताजी
Pranama. Namaste
नमस्ते नरसिंहाय
Narasimhaya
प्रह्लाददाय
Praladadaine Ranyakashi
हिरण्यकाशी पूर्वश
Purvashaka Shilatanganakalaye
तिलकङ्गानकालाये
Ito
इतो
Narsimha
नरसिंहा परतो
Parato
नरसिंहा
Narsimha Yato
यतो
Yato
यतो
Yami
यामि
Tato
ततो
Narsimha
नरसिंहा
Bhagi
बाहिर्नरसिंह
Narsimha Hridaye
ये नरसिंह
Narsimha Narasimhadim
नरसिंहमदे
Sharanam
शरणं प्रपद्ये
Prapadye Tava
तव
Kara Kamala
कमलपरेणका
Varinaka Adbhuta
अद्भुतशृङ्गा
Shripa Dalita Hiranyakashipu
हिरण्यकशिपुः
Tanu Bringa
तनुभृङ्गा
Keshavadhrita Hala Hari Rupa Jai
जय
Jagadish
जगदीश हरे
Hare Jaya
जय
Jagadish
जगदीश हरे
Hare Jaya
जय
Jagadish
जगदीश हरे
Hare Jaya
जय
Narsimha Dev Jaya
नरसिंहदेव जय
Narsimha Dev Jaya
नरसिंहदेव
Narsimha Dev Jaya Narsimha Dev
नरसिंहदेव
Jaya
जय
Prahlad
प्रहलाद
Maharaj Jaya
महाराज जय
Prahlad
प्रहलाद
Maharaj Jaya
महाराज जय
Prahlad
प्रहलाद
Maharaj Jaya
महाराज जय
Prahlad
प्रहलाद
Maharaj
महाराज
Jaya
जय
Jaya
जय
Prabhupada
प्रभुपाद
Prabhupada
प्रभुपाद
Prabhupada
प्रभुपाद
Jaya
जय
Jaya
जय
Prabhupada
प्रभुपाद
Jaya
जय
Gurudev
गुरुदेव
Gurudev
गुरुदेव
Gurudev
गुरुदेव
Jaya
जय
Jaya
जय
Gurudev
गुरुदेव
भक्ति विघ्न विनाशक नरसिंह भगवान की
की
जय भक्ति
जय
शिरोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज की
महाराज
जय
की जय
श्रील प्रभुपाद की
भगवत की
जय
जय
Mataji,
भगवत
I
गीता
was also remembering Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai. I was also remembering you are talking about the soul is very pure, right? We can understand by the example of the raindrop. The raindrop is very pure, but as soon as it gets contaminated, then the water gets polluted. So similarly, the soul is pure, but when the soul comes in touch with the material body, then that contamination is what makes it. As such, the soul is pure. And for the soul to go from one body to another, like if a computer is damaged, what do? You try to recover the hard disk and you
correct
put
and
it in
repair it
another computer and you use it.
correct
So similarly, when this body is gone, all our desires, which are stored in the subtle body, the same hard disk is put into another body and then our activity continues.
okay.
So because we are having desires and because of our karmana deva netrena jantur, because of that, we are taking bodies after bodies. Once we purify our desires and our karma is towards Krishna, whatever we do, if it is towards Krishna, then we will not be contaminated by any karmic reactions. And then we regain the original spiritual position, the soul will give away the subtle body, and then we will be eternally serving Krishna in Vaikuntha or Goloka Vrindavan. Okay, Mataji, I think this example is more easy to understand. The drop of rainwater when it gets contaminated. So the soul is pure. The contamination is because of the material existence. We are getting contaminated because we often, or in Dehatma Buddhi, we think ourselves to be the body. That's the problem. Okay.
Jai Krishna
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च
तरुपश्च
कृपा
कृपा
सिन्धुभ्येव च
सिन्धुभ्येव च
पतितानां
पतितानां
पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो
नमो
नमो
नमः
नमः
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय श्रील
जय श्री
प्रभुपाद की
प्रभुपाद
जय
की जय
भगवद गीता
भगवत
as it
गीता
is
as
की
it
जय
is की
हरे
जय
कृष्णा
हरे
please
कृष्ण
continue
माता
chanting, continue reading, continue hearing. Every day I am posting one class of Srila Prabhupada.
या
Prabhupada's class is very straightforward and very easy to understand. And he is a pure devotee. By understanding his Vani, we will get purified in a faster phase. So please keep your hearing and chanting and reading on. And also try to give Krishna consciousness to others. Don't worry what they will think about you. You are doing the instruction given by Krishna and by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna says, Nachatasman manusheshu kashyanyati krittama. There is nobody more dear to me than the one who spreads my glories to others. So if you want to become the most dear servant of Krishna, what you should do? You should preach the glories of Krishna to others. Krishna has given the secret in Bhagavad Gita towards the end of 18th chapter. There is nobody more dear than the one. That means the most dear, the superlative degree is one who preaches Krishna consciousness to others. They become most dear to Krishna. So if you want to become most dear to Krishna, talk about Krishna consciousness to your friends, to your colleagues, to your relatives, to anybody who meet. Jare te ko, tare kaho, Krishna upadesh. So this is a way we can become very dear to Guru and Krishna. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare